Jim Caldwell? James Caldwell? The Packers are interviewing Jim Caldwell? Are you kidding me? Caldwell sucks. Jim Caldwell? That dude won't even be able to talk in an interview. He can't even say anything out of his mouth. Jim Caldwell is an absolute joke. It just shows you that in the NFL, if you've coached a little bit, you're going to be a retread hire. And you know what? I'd love it if Jim Caldwell was hired by the Packers, because then Aaron Rodgers would have to then talk at Jim Caldwell. And then if you don't think Aaron's going to get frustrated with that, that is just hysterical to me. They go from Josh McDaniels, who's one of the best offensive coordinators in all of football, and then they're going to go off and try to interview Jim Caldwell for the job. Jim Caldwell was run out of Indianapolis. I think he was in Detroit. He's the king of going 8-8. He's Jeff Fisher. He's 7-9, 8-8. He's nothing. Nothing in the NFL. I'm sorry. He might be a nice guy. I know that there's people that might like him. He can't coach football at all. He can't motivate at all. It's about getting a coordinator that Aaron Rodgers is going to appreciate. I don't think it's going to be Lincoln Riley, but if you want Matt LaFleur, if you want someone interesting, if you want an offensive coordinator that's a good guy to hire, I look at Shane Waldron as a possibility, Zach Taylor as a possibility. Even Kevin Stefanski can come up with A-Rod and just create some cool passing concepts, okay? Someone from the Shanahan tree, someone in college football, even the Razorbacks, the Arkansas Razorbacks offensive coordinator is a guy that is a big-time offensive coordinator. His name is he's from Birmingham, Alabama. He's a really good offensive coordinator. I forget his name, though. I apologize. But, I mean, Jim Caldwell's terrible, you know. If I were the Packers, McDaniels is a pretty good name. He's a beast at calling plays. I like Matt LaFleur a lot. Hell of a nice guy. Really good offensive football. Oh, how about Nick Severini? Severini's a home run hire. The Chargers quarterback coach is a home run hire. You look in the college ranks, Graham Harrell used to play at the Packers, so Graham Harrell would be a good guy to look at hiring. Mike Kafka is a guy that you can look at hiring. So there's plenty of guys that you can look at hiring for Aaron Rodgers. Jim Caldwell is 8-8. He freaking sucks. That would be a nightmare hire. I cannot believe it. I was stunned that Jim Caldwell is, you have the best quarterback maybe in the NFL, the most talented quarterback ever, and they're trying to get Jim Caldwell up there. It's just unbelievable to me. It's crazy to me that is happening. Jim Caldwell is getting interviewed there. It's blasphemous. It's unbelievable. Jim Caldwell is so quiet. He has no presence. He's just like Todd Bowles. Peyton Manning was the only reason he was very successful, and I'm telling you, Jim Caldwell is terrible. Terrible idea. The other news today, other than Minnesota, baby, row the boat, Sky U Ma, baby. Minnesota beats Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech didn't have their coach, Paul Johnson, and that Wildcat or that triple option shit is going away. So Minnesota gets a huge bowl win, 7-5 for the Gophers. Hever and PJ Fleck get another win. The Gophers are top 33 in recruiting. I'm telling you, Big Ten, we are coming for you next year. The Gophers are at least winning 9-10 games next year. PJ Fleck is building this thing into an absolute giant. Tanner Morgan is going to be the quarterback next year. Jacob Clark's going to come in and do a solid job, but I'm telling you, Minnesota football is on the up and up. PJ Fleck is the best young coach in college football. Him and Scott Frost are going to dominate college football. The Big Ten is going to get in 2 teams to the playoffs every single year, starting in about 2 years. Minnesota and Nebraska are going to win national championships. Kiss Michigan and Ohio State goodbye. The Gophers are here to stay. Kiss Wisconsin goodbye. Minnesota will be taking home Paul Bunyan's axe just about every single year. Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert not coming back to the draft. Who gives a flying F? Who gives a frick about Justin Herbert? The kid, everybody, every single scout They're just like Markelle Fultz. They tell us Markelle Fultz is a can't-miss prospect. Markelle Fultz, Joey Bosa, you got to use your own head. Drew Lock can throw the ball 75 to 80 yards. He's a freak of nature throwing the ball. He has a stronger arm than Justin Herbert. He has a 20-yard stronger arm. He throws it further. He throws it harder. Drew Lock has the best arm in this class. Justin Herbert doesn't have a big arm. That's a fallacy by the media. A complete and total fallacy. They love Justin Herbert because he's a Pacific kid, and all of the LA people, they never watch Missouri football. They only watch the Pac-12. They only watch Oregon play football. He's 6'6", okay, big deal. He might have an inch over Drew Lock. I hate it. They look at Mitchell Trubisky and they say Mitchell's fast, and they look at Deshaun Watson, and it's the same thing why Mitchell was taking over Deshaun Watson. They make way too big of a deal about foot speed from the quarterback position. Drew Lock will learn how to read defenses in the NFL. He'll learn how to process. Herbert shot puts the ball. It's an ugly release. Drew Lock can palm a football. He has the biggest hands in the class. He's just like Josh Allen. Huge hands, really athletic kid, can throw from anywhere to his right, rolling left. He's a freak. He is like Mahomes. He's going to go to Indianapolis. He's going to throw that football 90 yards. I'm telling you, the people in Indianapolis, that ball might hit the top of Lucas Oil Stadium. That's how big this kid's arm is. He's unbelievable, and he's accurate. He's precise. I mean, for all these people that don't want to take a quarterback this year, you're passing up a Hall of Famer. I'm telling you, I'll be like Mel Kiper about Jimmy Clausen. That's how much I believe in Drew Lock. I like Drew Lock. Now, the only reasons why Drew Lock could fail, maybe a terrible offensive line, maybe he gets sacked a lot, maybe he doesn't study, maybe he doesn't read a lot, maybe he's not competitive, but I'm banking on Drew Lock because Drew Lock is a very competitive guy, okay? I know his quarterback coach in Missouri, Hoover, he's a very competitive guy. He went through a ton of shit at Missouri. First year, you had the protest going on. The team was going to not play against BYU. Gary Pinkel was out in his first year. And then in comes a freaking new coordinator, Josh Heupel. And then in comes Barry Odom. And that team was bad early on in the first couple games. And Drew Lock and that team, in Drew Lock's sophomore season, he lit it up. They didn't know how to win yet. Third year, they went like 1-5, Drew Lock did. And everyone's like, oh, what's going on with Missouri? Then Drew Lock won 7 straight games. 7-5, bowl game appearance against Texas. Had a couple of good throws against Texas. But again, Drew Lock, unbelievable potential. The players at Missouri, they say Drew Lock's not good against top competition. Drew Lock at Missouri only has Emmanuel Hall and that kid Jamon Moore, who's not even playing on the Packers, and the Packers have one of the worst receiving corps in football. You put Drew Lock with elite NFL talent, and this guy is going to be winning every game, okay? If Drew Lock played at Georgia, if he played at Alabama, he puts up big boy numbers. I mean, last year, he broke Peyton Manning's record for touchdowns in the SEC. Anyone who watches Drew Lock play knows that Drew Lock is a big-time talent, knows that Drew Lock is a hell of a quarterback and can light you up. Defenses are petrified of Drew Lock, okay? Defenses play cover 2. They don't let anything get over their heads, okay? You put Drew Lock with a running back like Saquon Barkley, it's going to be perfect because he'll go play action and he'll go over your head. He is a huge quarterback. He's 6'5", durable, and I'm telling you, this guy is a hell of a thrower, hell of a person, great person to bring into the locker room. He's my choice for quarterback. Haskins is not a bad quarterback, but Haskins isn't Drew Lock. He doesn't have the type of arm that Drew Lock has. Bottom line about Haskins, I still think Haskins is better than Sam Darnold. Haskins might even be better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But Haskins has only played for about a year, and Drew Lock has that experience to come in day one and light this league on fire. Drew Lock is the talent. Drew Lock is the chosen one of this class. Even if Herbert was there, I would take Drew Lock number one. If I were the Oakland Raiders, I'm taking Drew Lock number one. And it might not be popular, but I'm sticking to my gut. You got to stick to your gut in life, okay? Everybody told the Boston Celtics that Jaylen Brown was a project out of Cal, and when he went number 3, NBA Twitter and people's heads exploded, okay? When the Celtics traded away the rights to Markelle Fultz for Jason Tatum, everybody thought the Celtics weren't making the wisest of decisions. But because Danny Ainge is decisive and confident in his ability to scout, and he actually has an opinion that's actually different than everybody else in the public's opinion, he turned out to be right. Now, sometimes the public might be right. Like Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams is a big-time talent, and guess what? Quinnen Williams is a freaking beast. And I agree with the public on Quinnen Williams. I agree with the public on Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is a complete stud. Who else is a very good player? Deontay Thompson from Alabama, stud. Devin White, very good. Josh Allen, also great. So a lot of guys that I like also the public will like. Jonah Williams is the most interesting prospect to me. Because is Jonah Williams going to be a guard, or is Jonah Williams going to be a bookend tackle? Jonah Williams is an academic All-American, has succeeded at every level of his life. He's going to come into the NFL. He brings a great work ethic. He will not be a bust. At worst, he'll be an all-pro guard. So where is Jonah Williams going to be a tackle? Because if he's going to be a guard, he might slip to the bottom of the first round. We have to figure that out. We have to figure out if Dalton Risner has the speed to be a guard, because we know he can hit. We know he's powerful. We got to learn more about this Ford kid from Oklahoma. This kid's gone under the radar as a lineman prospect. We need to know more about the linemen. We need to know more about the upcoming draft, and we're going to be getting that. Justin Herbert, to me, is a pretty good quarterback. He's going to be a Mitchell Trubisky at the NFL. He's going to be a quarterback that can function, that is decent. He's a good competitor. He will thrive, and he will play playoff football. But but he's not going to ever be a Mahomes. He'll never be a Tua Tagovailoa. Ironically, Drew Lock and Tua, to me, Tua is Drew Brees, and Drew Lock, to me, has the potential to be an MVP type of quarterback like a Mahomes. But Tua, I'm sure, is going to be Drew Brees. Even Trent Dilfer agrees with me, and Trent Dilfer's really intelligent because Tua has the ability to throw the ball so quickly, and he's so accurate, and he never takes sacks, and he has natural poise in the pocket. That's why he's better than Drew Lock, in my opinion, because Drew Lock still has issues with the actual pocket. But Drew Lock, listen, I would love Drew Lock on the Giants. Behind that offensive line, you give Drew Lock time, Drew Lock's going to be successful. You stick with Drew Lock, you're going to find success. That guy can change ball games in one throw. If you're a defensive coordinator and you're playing Justin Herbert, you're not afraid. Because Justin Herbert's only going to hit you with 15-yard outs, 20-yard outs. Drew Lock's going to throw a 60-yard bomb on your head. Drew Lock's going to throw a back shoulder ball from 40 yards out. He'll keep defenses awake at night. He'll keep coordinators awake at night, and that's what you want at the position. You want a quarterback that other teams fear, and Drew Lock has everything. Drew Lock is the number one guy in this draft. I'm not wavering on it. I'm going to see him at the Senior Bowl. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change. It's no problem that Justin Herbert is gone. The fact, too, that Jim Caldwell is being interviewed by Packers, what the hell are they doing? Why are they doing it? Why? Makes no sense to me at all. He is terrible, okay? If you're the Packers, the guy you should bring in is Josh McDaniel, because Josh McDaniel knows how to call offense. He's not the easiest guy to get along with. Now, that's the downside to McDaniels. I think I would bring in, let me think about this, maybe Mike Kafka, maybe Severini, maybe the Chargers quarterback coach. I would probably bring in Shane Waldron. I would ask for Waldron. I think Waldron's going to be very, very good. Then I would bring in Severini. I think Severini's definitely going to get hired. He's very smooth, very likable guy, charismatic, hell of a coach, hell of a football coach, hell of an offensive mind. Severini, I'm telling you. Then the Chargers have a good offensive mind. Then Zach Taylor, good offensive mind. Lincoln Riley isn't leaving the college ranks. Matt Campbell might not know how to coach offense. And by the way, Will Grier sitting out this bowl game, stupid. Shows that he's not loyal. I don't like it at all. I'd pass on Will Grier. Not a big arm, sitting out the bowl game. Horrible, horrible decision by Will Grier. I don't like it one bit. You're committed to West Virginia. You're the leader of the football team. I love that Haskins is playing in the bowl game, and I love that Drew Lock is playing. I want Drew Lock. If you don't get Lock, Haskins I'd also be okay with. Probably I would. He's a Giants fan. That's a big deal. He also has a great skill set that you can work with. Haskins, Lock, or Tua. Those are the three guys that I want right now. Hunter Johnson might be there next year. Jake Fromm, I'm never going to be happy with. Probably not. He just doesn't have the arm talent. He lobs the ball up in the air. I don't like him at all, really, as a prospect. Maybe a James Morgan from FIU, who's also going to be a big-time player in the NFL if they give James Morgan an opportunity. But I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hope you learned something today. Hope you take my opinion, and hope you either disagree with it. There's a large chance you do. You might disagree with the opinion. But it's fun every day just get my thoughts out right to you guys. So, listen, I enjoyed the heck out of this podcast. I really did. Jim Caldwell's not going to last a day in that interview. They're going to have him there for 30 minutes. That would be the dumbest hire in the world. I'm serious. He's terrible. Listen, like Peyton Manning and that kind of stuff. Peyton took over that joint. He's Todd Bowles, too. That's the dumbest decision in the world if they hire Jim Caldwell. It's laughable. It's laughable. Out of everybody, they're bringing in Jim Caldwell. He doesn't say a word. When has the guy shown any emotion? He just has that mustache, crazy goofy mustache on his face. Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, Rover Rants episode 2. See you guys later.